Feedback Friday is brought to you by ProWrestlingTees.com, your destination for all the hottest wrestling t-shirts at low prices with super fast shipping. ProWrestlingTees.com also houses the full line of PWR merchandise in the PWR shop, along with the all-new line of Macho Man and Andre the Giant t-shirts. Each week, one lucky winner will win a free t-shirt, so stay tuned to find out if you're this week's winner.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. Hashtag Feedback Friday. Damian Nelson sitting alongside David Hero here on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Wait a minute. Today's Friday the 13th?
Yeah, Jason Voorhees is going to be our guest.
You know, I'm traveling.
Or Kane Hodder.
I'm traveling today.
Are you?
I'm not very comfortable with that now.
You'll be fine.
I'm going to be in Times Square tonight.
They won't be fine.
Al Snow and I in Times Square.
Shenanigans.
You should come with us.
Not available.
Really?
No, I'm needed here.
You love Times Square. You love New
Times
York.
Square. I love Manhattan. I love Hurley's. I love the...
That's at Hurley's.
Yes.
An Irish pub.
I love the Mean Fiddler. My favorite Irish pub now. Well, it's more of an Irish dance club. Lots of fights.
Whoa, wait a minute. An Irish... So like they're slapping their knees and ankles as they dance all the time? Is it funny?
Is
it entertaining? I mean, it's a lot of redheads.
On this show, folks,
Is that your type? I had no idea.
On this show, folks, we talk about your comments about our videos from the previous week. And actually, some breaking news, David Hero, just yesterday. Let's start with that. WWE doing a little bit of spring cleaning. Yes, it is still spring. And releasing several talents announced by the company. Let's go down the list and talk about those who... let's talk about what their future may hold, or whether or not this should have been a release for those talents.
Some don't have a future.
And, 3MB is seemingly no more, as two members of 3MB were released. Jinder Mahal and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, the chosen one, gone from WWE, released just yesterday.
He was the chosen one. I honestly thought 3MB had jobs for life.
They jobbed on Raw.
Literally.
They jobbed tonight on SmackDown.
Literally, I thought they had jobs for life because they're just dependable. They put people over. I'm sure they didn't complain. But you know what the weird thing is? If you notice the last several weeks, they all got in better shape. Drew McIntyre, I think, has looked the best he's looked in a year or two.
Yeah.
And same thing with Jinder Mahal. And I bet you that they'll do okay on the Indies if you can book 2MB. You know, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Would you book 2MB as 2MB?
It would really depend
or not to be.
It would depend on the fee.
Well, other releases, folks, other names. Oksana, gone. You'll see her on SmackDown tonight, but she's gone. Released from WWE yesterday.
You know, Paige comes up, Oksana's gone. Right?
A little bit of a replacement there, huh?
I mean, hey, there's only so many jobs in WWE. So when you bring up NXT talents, that means other guys have got to go.
It's like stock in the fridge, huh? Bringing the old to the front.
You got to throw.
Maybe in the garbage.
Eventually, the stuff once it hits the expiration date, you got to get rid of it.
Kurt Hawkins gone as well from WWE. Not sure how substantial that will be. I mean, when's the last time we've seen Kurt Hawkins on programming? Maybe NXT. Camacho.
Wasn't he?
Conquistador?
I thought he was Sin Cara. Or Black.
No, Sin Cara.
But wasn't he like the evil Sin Cara?
No, that was Doink.
Oh, he died too.
No, Dink did.
Oh.
Evan Bourne, who's been on the injury list for well over a year.
Evan Bourne is going to he'll catch on either in TNA or in Ring of Honor.
Back to Ring of Honor for Evan?
Absolutely.
It's probably the smartest thing for him. Ring of Honor and some independent bookings.
I can see him though in TNA.
Tremendous talent, amazing he got as far as he did in WWE, but I think he was a case
as far as he did,
size.
Before he got hurt, he was on fire.
His size, absolutely, which is why it's surprising, but I think the fans take a lot of credit for that, and
Wait
they
a
should.
minute, are you saying small guys can't get over in the WWE?
I'm saying it's more of a challenge for them to do so.
Daniel Bryan did it.
Daniel Bryan, I didn't call him a small guy. Evan Bourne is smaller than you.
Well, most people are. I'm a man.
Evan Bourne is a great talent, and it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up. Do you think he should go to TNA?
Sure.
Should be number 34 on their roster?
I think he could be tremendous in TNA.
Yoshitatsu.
God bless you.
Gone. He's been around for about a minute as well.
Isn't
Quite a
that
while.
where Evan Bourne got his kick pads from? Right?
Referee Mark Harris gone, but probably the most substantial name on this list, a man who's been an employee for WWE for an incredibly long time, been in the wrestling business for an incredibly long time as well. Teddy Long, holla, 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 released and wished well in his future endeavors.
Well, it's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what happened.
Teddy was a staple on SmackDown for years. He may be the longest general manager in the history of professional wrestling, but he was so great and so fine in that role that it never really got old, at least to me. Yes, every week on SmackDown he'd come out and there'd be a promo and he'd make a tag team match, blah, 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 blah. But it was still entertaining. Teddy Long still entertained me.
Right. But, there's shelf life for everybody, even for the one guy you haven't mentioned yet.
Who haven't I mentioned
The
yet?
most notable name on the list.
Is he? More so than Teddy Long?
Absolutely.
Did you call his mama?
Because a year and a half ago, he was probably one of the most popular guys in the company.
The Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay, also released from WWE.
That's the one guy I would be interested in booking on one of my shows.
He's got a character.
Well, just
one he can't
because
use.
he can use the music. Fine. So he's called Big George instead of Brodus Clay. What's the difference? You put that guy's mug on the poster, you know who he is.
Yeah. Disco ball or no disco ball?
Absolutely. You find a disco ball for him. But hey, it all comes down to dollars. And right now, if these guys aren't helping produce money, and it's obvious to me that they're going a younger direction with the amount of NXT guys they're bringing up. When you bring up Rusev and Lana and Bo Dallas, Adam Rose, who we'll talk about later also, who I just...
Talk about him tomorrow.
Well, again, it'll prove itself, Just, it's a youth movement. And some of these guys have been around a while. I mean, Drew McIntyre's been there for a long time.
Yeah, very long time.
At least 5 years. Hasn't done much.
Well, since the incident, he hasn't done much.
Wow. When you get beat up by your wife, it kind of defeats the tough guy image you're supposed to have. But hey, I mean, his wife is tough. And plus, he didn't fight back. I commend him for that.
If she swung first, he could have hit back.
You don't. You still don't. I don't know what you do.
She started it.
It doesn't matter. You let the police pull her off of you.
You're still going to jail whether you hit her or not, so...
Yeah, but you won't... The ticket's not quite as big.
10 names released from WWE. SmackDown tonight, Raw on Monday. I think they will go on as planned or without these people, without any impact to us, the viewers. Unfortunately.
No one's going to notice.
Yeah.
Except for the first time Heath Slater comes out by himself.
To get repackaged? Do we see a new or different Heath Slater?
No, I mean, he's over
Still
how
got
he is.
Hornswoggle.
Let him be how he... Heath
The
better be
one-man rock
careful.
band?
I mean, he might be the next one to go. He could be.
Do you think we'll see more releases from WWE anytime soon?
In the next couple months, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised
in this mass?
I'm sure 10 more could go. I could list 10 more guys that should go.
But would you?
Not here. You know why I won't do it here? Because someone will copy the link and they will tweet so-and-so and so-and-so. Dave Hero says you should be fired. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying certain people, their shelf life is up.
Well, and our shelf time is up for this particular segment.
Really? I was enjoying that segment.
Well, we're going to come back after this timeout and talk about your comments from our YouTube episodes, including this past Wednesday's.
Gotta celebrate, laugh, and get excited about good times and good living. Come on and shout it out. Hey, take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm free of my soul, and now you got me singing. Oh, hey, I'm feeling fine, smiling big, feeling right like I should. Life is better than good, yeah, you got me singing. Hey, I'm standing up on top of the world tonight, and everything's working out just right. And while the world is spinning, it's a brand new beginning, and we finally winning. Hey, so take it up, take it over, take it out of control. Today I'm free of my soul.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report Feedback Friday. Davey Nelson sitting alongside David Hero here on Friday the 13th. What's your favorite Friday the 13th film? Picture show, if you will. There were 10, 11 of them, 12 of them.
You want to know the truth? I've never seen one. Why do I want to watch a movie where they're going to kill attractive women?
Well, they're naked before they get killed in most cases.
Which is even more depressing.
You're not into that?
Not a dead one. I mean, hey, you like what you like, I get it, but that's too kabuki-ish for me.
Part 6 was by far the best.
A lot of necrophilia in that one?
No, it was the comedic one. Hey, what were you going to be when you grew up?
What?
So one of the kids said to the other kids, and Freddy versus Jason, chocolate meat.
That's
What
disgusting.
Freddy said to the girl from Destiny's Child.
Which one? Beyonce?
No.
Kelly?
Yeah.
Kelly gets herself in a lot of weird situations, doesn't she?
It was a movie. It was scripted. It was for entertainment purposes only.
That was number 6?
No, that was just that was Freddy versus Jason, which was not a Friday the 13th movie, nor was it numbered.
The one you say was number 6.
I said part 6 was a comedic one, and then moved.
And then you went
to
right into
Freddy
that,
versus
but you
Jason.
didn't say it was a different movie.
So if I
would have gone on Netflix to watch number 6, waiting for that scene, I never would have saw it.
You would have thought you'd have seen it because it only lasted 4 minutes.
Probably. Well, I can go longer than 4
You
minutes.
do know that
but not something
PWR,
like that.
folks, is the most watched wrestling talk show on YouTube with well over 13 million, nearing 14 million viewers.
Minutes. Really?
Since 2006, we welcome your comments on all our videos. So let's get to some of those comments left on last week's episodes of PWR. Firstly, Justin S. says, regarding this week's greatest ever, which was the greatest play-by-play man ever, I'm glad you guys decided on Jim Ross. JR was able to make the gravity of every situation come through. Ross was able to help make the big fight feel that today's announcers struggle with doing. He made normal matches important and big-time matches absolutely epic the way he told the story.
He did. He was a great storyteller. That's why we chose him to be number 1. Why do they got to confirm it for us? We already made the decision.
Continuing along, as we talked about, or as I said, the business has evolved, whereas you don't have JRs anymore, and Michael Cole deserves more credit than he gets. Well, Dunamis Dude, I love some of these YouTube names at times, says, and I quote, the business has not evolved. It has devolved in the last 15 years. The bar has been set so low that people think Michael Cole is a great play-by-play announcer. Terrible. I don't recall using the word great. Maybe I did. He's great at what he does. Hell, I'll say it then. He is great at what he does.
You know what's funny? It's not funny. It's the truth. So last weekend, I was chatting with our dear, good, close, personal, longtime friend, Mean Gene Okerlund.
Holy balls!
And we talked about it. I was like, hey, I go, Gene, who do you think are the top 3 of all time? What better person to ask, right? And in no specific order, he said Jim Ross, Gorilla Monsoon, and
Gordon
Solie. He says, but he goes, Michael Cole has developed into a solid announcer. He has. The thing with Michael Cole is he is heavily produced. Vince McMahon is in his ear the entire time. If Vince McMahon tells him, go this route, go that route, do this, say this, whatever else, and let's not forget, for quite a while, Michael Cole is most remembered for being that prick that no one liked. And that was his job to be the antagonist to get certain babyfaces over.
And as we talked about
And all that changed was when the King had the heart attack.
Yep. And we talked about that on Greatest Ever. JR was presented almost, they tried in the same light, but he became an endeared character versus Michael Cole, who you've only been seen or viewed as either the man who took JR's spot or the man who wrestled Jerry Lawler at WrestleMania 27.
Exactly.
So, continuing along the conversation trail, on our conversation about whether or not Batista deserves more respect from the fans for his recent run, Justin Harrison says,
Who?
Money. It all comes down to money. Having Batista come back and be placed in the main event at Mania was the correct move, as with it came exposure. Sure, the match suffered for solid wrestling, but it gained for momentum as Big Dave came in bringing his past legacy and his future movie release. Fans hated it, but it helped the WWE bring ratings and make money. They don't give 2 shits.
Chips?
This is his word.
Wow.
What you think, as long as they make money at the end of the day. Remember, it's a business, first and foremost. Hashtag deal with it.
And that's at the end of the day, it's about ticket sales. Either you're selling tickets or you're trying to sell tickets. And if you're not doing either of those two, you're gone. And that's what happened with 10 guys this week. They weren't selling tickets. They weren't moving tickets. Well, time to move along. Move along.
And finally, YouTube user by the name of @WhackOzakOit.
You know what? I bet his real name is Billy.
says, and I quote, and this, listen closely to this one, David Hero, because it gets interesting.
Oh, boy.
I think the only reason that John Cena and Batista get the heat they do is because they're John Cena and Batista. If John Cena or Batista kept the title while injured, the fans would call them selfish. When Daniel Bryan and CM Punk do it, the fans are perfectly okay. When Batista walks out of the company, the fans call him selfish. Even CM Punk does it at the hands. Even when CM Punk does it, the fans defend him. When John Cena beats the Wyatt family by himself, the fans call it unfair. But when CM Punk beats the Shield by himself, fans are not only okay, but they say CM Punk is poorly booked. Batista was promised the title run, and he didn't get it. Even with the Daniel Bryan injury, he can't get what's promised to him. Yet the fans call him selfish for it. If the roles were switched and Daniel Bryan did what Batista did, the fans would have a completely different opinion.
I agree, 100%. And you know what it is, and I'm going to probably, this could be a whole new Fish Fry Friday for next week, the comments we're going to get off of this comment.
Yeah.
You sit there and you wonder, how come fans can gravitate towards CM Punk or Daniel Bryan as opposed to Batista and John Cena? Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Here's why. People are lazy, okay, for the most part. You look and you see how much work goes into being John Cena or Batista. And some people will say they stick a needle in their ass. They do or they don't. I don't know. But to be John Cena takes tremendous hard work, dedication, and discipline. To look like John Cena, to be John Cena. Now, CM Punk is a very talented in-ring performer, but he's not built like John Cena. So most of the general public can relate to CM Punk not being an Incredible Hulk, okay? And they don't have the work ethic to look like a John Cena. Am I right?
I'm going to let you go ahead and captain this ship all by yourself.
But that's what it is. It's like, that's what it comes down to, is that people gravitate to people that they feel they have a connection with. Like you and Jonathan Coachman. There's a connection there. And I get that, and I see it. You gravitate towards him. But you look at the people that are wearing the CM Punk t-shirts, it's not the big jacked up guys. It's the hipsters. It's the ones that, aren't going to... I'm right. I am the voice of the voiceless, and I am explaining this to the masses. That's what it comes down to.
I appreciate your explanation.
Am I wrong?
We're out of time.
Come on.
Let's take it now over to Linda Kay to tell us who won for this week's episode.
I'm right.
T-shirt from ProWrestlingTees.com. We'll see you tomorrow on Primetime.
Congratulations to this week's winner of a free wrestling tee from ProWrestlingTees.com, Justin Harrison. Thanks for your comments, and we look forward to giving away another t-shirt next week. But before that, we have Primetime TV tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Central.